Hey, how's it going? My name is Reece. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the direct systems that we use in my own six-figure e-commerce agency for outreach and fulfillment. So you can pretty much take that into your agency, automate those processes, make sure that you book a ton of meetings, get incredible results to your clients. These are the exact systems that we use. So I'm going to show you that step by step exactly what we do. This video was actually recorded as a Facebook Live yesterday, but to be honest, it was so good, it's full of value. I wanted to go ahead and share it here on YouTube as well, so you also get the value. Now, in terms of these Facebook Lives, I do them every so often, maybe once a week, maybe more. So if you're not connected with me on Facebook already, click the link in the description, add me on Facebook, and you'll get notified when I go live as well. Without further ado, let me go ahead and jump straight into the value. If you've got any comments, let me know down below. If you're new here, I hope you enjoyed the video. Awesome. Cool. If you're here now, if you're watching live, let me know. If you're not, if you're watching later on, then that's cool as well. This video will be up. But basically, what I want to go over in this one really quickly in this live video, probably going to be here for about 10 minutes. I just want to go over the systems that we're currently using to book meetings and automate the agency. So booking the meetings and fulfillment, those are the two things I'm going to go over, and also the automation, so what that actually looks like. Not many people know this, but my own agency in e-com women's fashion brands, I generally spend no more than around 2 to 3 hours a day. That includes, if we total the week and we look at average, that does include client calls and team calls as well. So agency is pretty streamlined, it's pretty automated. I don't do too much, so I'm gonna hopefully get across as much as I can today. Again, if you're watching live and you've got any comments or any questions while I'm going along, pop them in, because I can see that, and I'll answer those while we go along. So let's go ahead and get into it. So I want to go into the excited part, which is the systems. Before I do that, I have to go over the foundations, because there's only really a couple things that you've got to keep in mind. The number one thing, if you're going out and you're building these incredible outreach systems, but you have a horrible offer, it's not going to work, let's be honest. You can take exactly what's working for us, copy it word for word. The only thing that you change is the offer, and it's just not going to perform. That is the truth. So you need to make sure that the offer is really good. If you're new to the agency space, or if you're not familiar with my content, then when I say offer, you may just think that's a service. We do Facebook ads, we do TikTok ads, we do UGC creation, or maybe something entirely different. That is a mechanism. So the service that you're providing, the Facebook ads, the UGC, whatever it is, that's the mechanism that you're using to get to the end result for the client. So when I say offer, the way I like to break this down is an offer is the transformation that you are offering someone. Hope that makes sense. So for e-com fashion brands, it may be we're going to help you scale to 500k a month, or to 100k a month, or to $1 million a month, or we're going to help you build the retention, increase your retention, your lifetime value by X amount, whether that's a dollar figure, whether that's a time figure, whatever it is for your space. But you've also noticed here that I say a great offer for a niche that needs help. If you're outreaching to people that don't actually have the problem, and also they don't have the money to buy it, and they don't have the urge or desire to actually fix the issue that they're in, they're not going to be interested. So you need to make sure that the niche that you get is someone that you can actually help. If you know that you want to do something in the realm of digital marketing, which most of you watching this would want to do, you need to make sure that those people actually want more customers, or whatever it is that you're looking to get them. So make sure you do a little bit of research up front. Make sure that you're picking a niche that you like, but you also know there's potential. Don't pick a niche just because you like it, but at the same time, don't pick a niche just because you see money in it. It's a scale, and you want to go somewhere around the middle. Make sure that you have somewhat of an interest. Make sure that you can also help them out. So that's kind of the offer side. Make sure the offer's good, make sure the niche is good. I mentioned before, make sure that they actually have the desire. For example, from experience, I know that construction companies, generally they get really good referrals, and they don't actually need more clients. They need more customers, I think they would call them clients. They don't need more clients, they need more workers, more people that are actually willing to work. So it's an entirely different offer. In that case, maybe you'll start a recruitment agency, who knows. But make sure that you know the niche and you know what they need, and make sure you create the offer around that. But let's move on to the next case, which is pretty much just having a fully automated onboarding system. Now, I want to bring something up to you that you're probably not fully aware of already, and that's buyer's remorse. When somebody, you've hyped them up on the sales call, they're like, yeah, you know, you've inspired them, they're ready, like, yeah, let's do this. And, you know, you're celebrating with them because they're entering their card details, and you're like, oh, welcome to the agency family, or whatever you do just to keep that good once you actually get the sale, and once you get the money, and obviously you're going to feel happy yourself. But it's super important now. Once they've made the payment, once they've received the contract, they've signed that, you need to make sure there's no buyer's remorse, right? You need to make sure they're not going to message you a day later and be like, you know what, Reece, completely changed my mind, don't want to do this anymore. And the number one way that you can avoid that is by making the next step super smooth from them. So that means as soon as they make payment, as soon as they sign the contract, and you go through the onboarding, it's going to be automated, it's going to be slick, up to date, it's going to make sense, easy for them to do. Not too crazy, like not too much things and not too much work for them. But essentially what we want to communicate in the onboarding system is you're going to go through this automated onboarding. Going to be pretty simple. You just follow through the process, and if you get stuck, let us know. And generally what that onboarding system is going to look like is you'll send them a link to a website or a series of videos. You can even do it on YouTube if you don't have a website right now. And essentially, step by step, you're just going to walk them through what you need. So you're going to collect the information that you need in order to actually move on to providing the service, whatever that is. Set up any, you know, technical side. So if you're doing Facebook ads, set them up with Facebook. You know, get their access to Google Analytics, their Shopify store, Active Campaign, Klaviyo, whatever it is that you need. Get access to that stuff. And then I've got a fan, hopefully that's not too loud, just going to turn that down a little bit. But you want to make sure this onboarding system is, as I said before, as simple as possible. And the best way to do that is keep it automated. The only part of the onboarding system that we need to do, let me give this some thought, is pretty much have the kickoff call. That's pretty much it. You know, we get the information that we need from them via a form, and then on the kickoff call, and they sign up. Most of the technical stuff they do. If they need help with it, then we'll set them up on the kickoff call. You know, we'll go ahead and help them out with that. But you just want to make it as smooth as possible for them to just get started. And on that note, just as like a little final caveat, in terms of retention of the client, the best way to retain a client is to get them a win as quick as possible. So not only your onboarding system has to be easy for them to follow and easy for them to complete, but it should be quite quick. You know, most agencies, they will take a week or longer to get the initial ads up. Again, if you're an advertising agency or if you're email marketing, maybe it takes you a week or two to get the initial flows and campaigns up. That's a little bit more understandable as long as you begin the work pretty much immediately. But with paid ads, like, there's not really much of a reason that it should take longer than 2 to 3 days to really just get the initial campaign up. So you want to get them a quick win as soon as possible. And the easiest way to do that is make sure that the onboarding system itself is really easy for them to follow. You get the information you need and you can get working. You know, a lot of the time we can kind of start things before the kickoff call. You know, we can just build out some of the things that we need in the back end of things. And then when we're ready, we just get the ads up, we send it over for approval, and we launch. Quick note on this automated onboarding system, you can use tools like Zapier, or what's the other one? I think it's called make.com. I like Zapier. It's a little bit easier, it's much easier to use. A little bit more expensive, but it's a pretty cool tool. And that will pretty much do what you usually do, you know, and it just automates it. So for example, creating folders on Google Drive, adding them to, or creating a channel in Slack, adding them to the channel in Slack, bunch of different things, sending over a contract, bunch of different things you can use with Zapier. Also you can use it for Fulfilment. So if you're not familiar with the tool, check it out. Really big one. Now let me go over to the exciting part, which is the outreach. There are a few different ways that we use outreach in my own agency and that I teach my students, you know, my agency students. So the two main things, cold email and organic marketing on social media, which is primarily handled on Facebook and Instagram. So I'll quickly tell you the outline and I'll go through this step by step. And again, if you're watching this live, if you've got any comments, any questions, just pop that in the chat. So cold email, pretty simple. Most of you know about it. A lot of people say it doesn't work, but I've got an e-com agency. It works for us. I've got students with e-com agencies. It works for us as well. Works for them as well. So cold email, pretty simple right now. It's the most efficient system that I been able to create. I can't get any more efficiency out of it, at least at this stage. But pretty much, cold email is simple. We hire somebody to provide the leads. The leads that they provide us aren't just leads, aren't just e-com leads, or aren't just women's fashion brand leads. They match a very, very specific criteria of the client that I know I want to work with. So we just go, we get those leads in. I will clean the list, make sure that it's not going to have a high bounce rate, make sure the emails are good. And then I'll go ahead, upload that to Lemlist. For some of my students, they use Instantly, and you can do that as well. Instantly and Lemlist are the two that I can recommend. There are other email senders, cold email tools, but I stick with Lemlist. Instantly is also pretty good, but it hasn't quite caught up with Lemlist yet, in my opinion. But that's what we do. We get the leads in, clean the list, upload the list, send the emails. That's it. So you want to kind of start around no less than 50 to 100 a day after you build up build up the email and build up the health, and get them sending. And I say no less than 50 to 100, but ideally no less than really 100 to 200 a day you're going to be sending. Because if you want to book a couple meetings a month, then fine, you can do 50 to 100 a day. If you want to book 5-10 meetings a week, maybe more, you need to be sending more than 100, potentially even more than 200 a day, depending on what your meeting book rate is. Which brings me to the final thing that I'm going to mention with cold email. The reason it doesn't work for most people is because they don't know how to improve it. So to optimize the cold email, a couple of things you got to focus on: make sure that people open the email, making sure that it actually interests them, making sure that they're compelled to take an action. So make sure that their subject line is good, something that they actually want to click, making sure that the personalization is at the very top of the email. So when they see the email on their Gmail or Apple Mail or whatever it is that they use, whatever tool they use to view their emails, want to make sure that they see the subject line, a compelling subject line that makes them want to open, but also the personalization that makes them want to open even that much more. So that's the first key, is the subject line. You've heard about that before, the personalization, having that at the very top of the email so they see it in the email preview. You want to also make sure, again, that the offer is solid, and you want to change up the messaging, because sometimes the problem is not the offer, but how you communicate the offer. Sometimes it's like, we've got a system, as opposed to this is the system that's going to work for you. So it's a little bit different. If you're making the thing about you as opposed to making it about them, that's a way that you may be communicating the offer in a not as effective way as you could be. So we want to make sure that you're changing up the messaging, rather, the messaging of the offer. So let's say your offer is helping women's fashion brands go to 100K a month. There are a bunch of ways that you can communicate that. You just got to get a bit creative, throw that in, maybe change up your guarantees, test new guarantees, see which connects more. But that's enough to actually keep them good. And then the final stage is keep them to actually want to take action. So firstly, make the next action very, very clear. If you want them to book in a call, maybe just say to them, hey, shoot me over a response if this interests you, and we can take it from there. Or you can say, hey, if you'd like to have a chat, let me know. Or if you'd like to hear more, let me know and we can have a chat about it. Something along those lines. So the call to action needs to be compelling. The offer itself is already going to be quite compelling. It's going to intrigue them. They're going to be interested in the offer if you get that right. And then the call to action himself, that's actually going to get them to take the action that you want. Whether, again, that's book a call straight away. I wouldn't put the link in the email, but just say to them, hey, just hit me back if you want to talk more, and we can set up a chat, something like that. But you should be pretty familiar with the call to actions already. If you're not, just pop a comment down below. I can give you some more ideas on how you can do that based on your specific offer and what you're offering. Cold email is simple, but it's not easy. It takes some time to optimize and to get right. So when you're doing the cold email, don't be afraid to test new things, get creative with it. Test, again, your offer, test the things that I already spoke about just now, and just get that out there. So what I want to talk about next is organic marketing, because it's something that I truly believe is going to be really big this year in 2022. It's something that I said at the beginning of the year. I came out and said, I think it was back in January, I said this year organic marketing is going to be massive for agency owners. I don't mean to say that I predicted it, but there's a lot of agency owners doing organic marketing right now really, really successfully. So there are really three pillars to organic marketing, or 3 cogs of that organic marketing system you need to keep in mind. And I've made videos about these before, so I'll go into a little bit of detail here, give you an outline, and then you can watch some of the other videos and get a better, more specific, touch point on the different elements there. So the first is traffic. If you're using Facebook or Instagram, and to be honest, this actually Instagram is supposed to say LinkedIn. It's primarily Facebook and LinkedIn is what we use. Typo there. But when you're adding people, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it is, whatever platform it is, again, Facebook and LinkedIn is what we mostly use. You want to make sure that you're connecting with people that are actually in your niche. So again, if you work with women's fashion brands, but specifically you work with owners of women's fashion brands doing over 20K a month, selling this type of product at this type of price point with this number of people in their team, for example, those are the people you want to connect with. You don't just want to connect with anybody that's in fashion, anybody that's in e-com, or anybody that has a women's fashion brand even. You want to make sure that that's specific. Especially on LinkedIn, where you're a little bit more limited to how many people you can actually connect with. You want to make sure that's solid, and make sure that you're following the best practices there. But then on Facebook as well, because what Facebook's going to do is it's going to learn from the people that you connect with and you're friends with, and then make sure that Facebook is leading those people to your profile. So that's the main thing, is the traffic. Make sure also in terms of traffic, again, I'll go over this more in other videos that I've got up, but make sure that you're connecting with people that are already showing that they're interested in some way. They're in groups, they're asking questions, they're posting content about their business, this type of thing. You want to make sure that you're reaching out to those people, and that again, they're in the niche that you've got, whatever niche you are in. Content. Keep this short because again, we've gone over it before and we're already at 13 minutes, so we're longer than we expected to be here for. But content itself is incredible way of showing people that you know what you're talking about. And if you've read the book $100 Million Offers by Alex Hormozi, you will know that one of the 4 components of an incredible offer is increased perceived likelihood of success. Meaning that if somebody is going to purchase or invest in the offer that you're selling, they need to believe that it's actually going to work for them. If they don't have that belief, they're not going to want to buy it. And that's often why people get to the end of a sales call, think it's going really, really well, and then right at the end, there's a trust hurdle that comes up. They're like, the last agency, it didn't work for us, or we tried this before, it didn't work, so I'm not sure I want to do it again, that type of thing. Or just quite frankly, they don't trust you. They don't believe that what you've got is going to work. But you can prime them up via your content. So by the time they get to the sales call, they already know who you are, they know what you do, they know that you know what you're talking about, and they know that you seriously want to help them out. You want to communicate that in your content. They'll take that in. By the time they get to the sales call, they'll be primed up, ready to buy. They'll know exactly who you are, what you do, everything about you, and they'll be like, yep, let's just skip it, let's just do logistics and get started. And it's not uncommon to say that that's possible. I've had it before where I've jumped on a call and they've said, look, Reece, I'm already very familiar, I do want to get started, let's just go over the logistics and talk about the pricing, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, content itself, just to wrap this up really short, focus mostly on value-driven content that's going to show that you know what you're talking about, that you can help them. Anything that's going to increase that perceived likelihood of success is what you want to communicate in your content. So this is mostly value posts, how-tos, lists, things that's working for you, etc. If you already have clients, or if you have a fulfillment contractor that has results, whether that's Facebook ads, email marketing, something entirely different, post that as client wins. Just say, hey, this is one of our client wins. This is a result that we got a result. This is a result that we got for a past client, or whatever it may be. Communicate that, because again, it's all about increasing the perceived likelihood of success. If you're able to do that, you're able to get people interested, then they will buy. They will be more interested, at least, in doing so. And there's not many ways that you can mess that up on the sales call. Last component is Messenger. Messenger itself is having conversations with people. Now, if you're not having conversations with people and you're not talking with people, you're not going to do 2 things. You're not going to get feedback on the niche and be able to actually optimize your offer, which, by the way, needs to be constantly optimized. But also, you're not going to book any calls because you're not actually speaking with anybody. Now, you will get some inbound calls where people absolutely love your content, feel really connected to you, and feel like you could really help them out. And they'll just book in a call. You know, sometimes they won't even message you. You'll just wake up in the morning, there's a bunch of calls booked. It happens all the time if the content is good and if you're connecting with the right people. But as I said, the third cog of that organic marketing system, or the third pillar, is the messenger. It's having conversations with people. This isn't messaging the first message saying, hey, my name's Reece, I own a fashion brand for women's fashion brand, and this is my offer, do you want to buy it, or do you want to get on a call? Don't say that, because that's not going to work. But focus on building the relationship. Lead with that relationship. Want to talk to your niche. Want to talk to the people who you want to help, and that could potentially be investing in your offer. So make sure that in terms of messenger, you've got that nailed down. You just focus on building a relationship in the first place. You actually want to help these people. Keep it casual, keep it friendly, build the friendship with them. And again, when you get them on the sales call, they'll be more inclined to buy. Our sales rate varies obviously month to month, but on average we get a 53% conversion rate, which is pretty decent. You know, if I want a client, if I take 2 calls, law of averages, probably get it. If we take 10 calls, then we're definitely going to sign like at least 5 clients of that we take. So in terms of, you know, if you book 20 clients a month, you can scale very quickly if you get these stuff right. So yeah, that's Messenger. Again, it's something I've been over in the past. If there's something specific to here that I'm going over and you want more information on, feel free to send me a message. I was going to go over the fulfillment in a little bit more detail, but I'm going to keep it simple just because the video is already, you know, pretty long at this point. But if you're new to the agency space and you're doing the work yourself, or if you feel like you need to do the work yourself, you need to get rid of that belief, because you are an agency owner. You are not a contractor, or maybe you are. And if you're a contractor or freelancer, that's totally okay. My content's still going to help you, but it's mostly focused towards agency owners. So really, when it comes to the fulfillment, you need to get somebody that knows what they're doing. That's the truth. You need to get somebody that knows what they're doing and has way more experience than you. You know, if you've been doing paid ads in an agency for 5 years and you wanted to take it on yourself, you still want to hire a contractor to come in and do it. You may be able to help out now and again. You know, me, when I want to actually do some marketing or write some ad copy, me and my media buyer will go head to head, see which ad copy can perform better. That's because I enjoy it and because I want to do so, not because I have to do so. So you want to make sure that you get an expert fulfillment contractor on board. Again, whether that's a media buyer, whether it's a copywriter or email designer for email marketing, whatever that is. Make sure that you got that fulfillment pattern and good straight off the bat. So that also leads into the automated onboarding, because from the automated onboarding, as I said before, you want to get results as quickly as possible and get started with the process. If you can have the kickoff call and within 48 hours send over the initial ad copy for them to approve, even if it's like more of the easier stages like retargeting or something where you don't need to know as much, you know, to convince them at that point, then just do that. You know, send over something simple. We like to send over, you know, KPI is really 24 to 48 hours, especially just to give them some initial ads just to get it up and get it running. Of course, if there's other things that you need to work on, if something's broke in the ads or something like that, you know, on the ad platform, then focus on that and then go ahead, get the ads created, send them across, and that's it. But I'm saying you want your fulfillment contractor to do this. You want your media buyer to create the ads. You want your copywriter to write the emails, etc., etc. So just make sure this is as automated as possible. Your contractor should be dealing with client communication. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be active. You should let people know that you're there. You are working on the account. But you just want people to know that you still care about them. It wasn't just that you had amazing communication until the point that they signed on the dotted line and gave you their money. You want to make sure that they're aware that you're here to help them out. But the expert, the true expert in fulfillment is going to help them get there. In some cases better than you will. At the end of the day, you're a business owner. It's not your job to be working in the business. It's your job to be working on the business, which is a quote that a lot of these SMMA agency dudes claim about for the clients, but they never talk about it for our own agencies, which I think is really weird. But yeah, you want to make sure that that is set up as much as possible. Now, if you've watched this far in the video, I've pretty much gone over everything I wanted to, but there is one last thing. Now, in terms of everything that I spoke about before, I'm just going to quickly show you a little bit more in detail of how we actually do this and the different steps. If you're unfamiliar, if you're new to my profile, if you've just joined yesterday, today, or if you just stay off social media. At the moment, I have 3 incredible guarantees running for my one-on-one mentorship program. If you have an agency, or if you are looking to restart an agency, or if you're in, if you've had an agency going for a while, but you're not quite getting the results that you want in terms of booking meetings, fulfillment, and really agency automation, if you want to free up your time, get more results for the client and for yourself, I'm going to quickly talk through the guarantees that we're offering right now. And if it's something that you're interested in, well, we can take it from there. So I quickly load this up. The first thing you're going to see is a bunch of different things on Trello. Now, this is a one-on-one mentorship program, which means that I'm going to be working with you to grow your agency. I'm going to take all of the systems that's working in my agency, some of the stuff we spoke about today, some of the stuff that we haven't spoken about, and I'm going to get that, I'm going to throw it into your agency. Basically going to work as like your business partner for a few months, give you everything that you need, work with you to actually scale that up. So it's a one-on-one mentorship, but you also get access to all of the content that you see on the page. There are currently 70 modules in the program. It's one-on-one, so we're going to work together. You're not going to have to go through everything here, not in the first one. You won't go through it like a course. You're going to go through it as you need to. The idea is that you'll go through the content, you'll have questions to relate it to your own agency, we'll have a conversation, we'll make sure that it's set up the right way for your exact situation and your own agency. I'll talk a little bit more about the content in a second, but I did say I'll go ahead and just mention the guarantees. So really, we've got 3 incredible guarantees running right now, and this ends at the end of this week. Well, actually, it ends on Monday midnight UK time. So let me quickly go over these. Guarantee number one is pay when you win. Now, this is still pretty new. It launched about 2 months ago. But put simply, what I'm going to do is half the investment fee, to split it into 2 halves. On day 1, you pay 50%, and then only after you've recouped that initial investment will I actually invoice you for the second payment, and will that payment be due. So, we split it in half, as I just said. We split it in half. You pay 50% on day 1. You pay 50% once you've recouped that initial payment. So only once you get your first 1 to 2 paying clients, if you actually made that money back, then you'll be invoiced. And then pay the second half. So what this does is it keeps me really, really accountable to make sure that you succeed. Because let's be honest, I've got a business, you've got a business, you want to make money, I want to make money, and I feel that the best way to bring those two together is make it so I make money when you make money. So you recoup the money, and then you pay the second half of the investment fee. Guarantee number 2 is a consistent 10K guarantee. I don't think anybody else is offering anything like this right now, but in addition to getting paid when you do, I will work with you one-on-one until you're at 10K a month. The one-on-one mentorship program generally follows a trajectory of 90 days, 3 months. However, for some people, they don't want to rush it. For some people, they want to take a little bit more time. For some people, we need to work on other systems before we work on actually getting more clients. And in that case, it may take a little bit longer than those initial 90 days. The goal of the mentorship program is not just to get you a couple of clients, it's to help you build a long-term and real business. And due to this, I'll work with you until you're clearing 6 figures in profit, further guaranteeing your success. And not just 1 month, you get 1 month of 10K, that's not enough for me. I want you to get 2 months of 10K, making 10K, and then, we can see what happens to that one-on-one. But the important part is I'm going to get you to 10K a month, and that's guaranteed, contractually guaranteed, and that's the second guarantee. Guarantee number 3, MBA level coaching and accountability. The name is driven from the book Relentless. Forget the author, but the book Relentless, he was a coach for NBA players, Michael Jordan and a bunch of others, I believe. But pretty much, when you sign up for me, you're making a commitment to winning. And to help you with that, I'm going to be freely available to you on Slack, one-on-one chat, and Zoom one-on-one, so we can chat whenever you need. If you're struggling with something, if you need help, I'm going to be there to give you that help every single day. In addition, I'm going to be holding you accountable every single day to make sure that you're doing what's necessary, and then giving that support where you need it. So essentially what this looks like is you need help, then you send me a message on Slack, or you book in a one-on-one call, and that's unlimited. You can book in as many calls as you need, not every day because that's inefficient for you. But you can book in the call when you need, and we can chat. That's in addition, by the way, to the weekly calls that we do in the Facebook community group that you also get access to. So there's a lot going on in terms of support. It's my number one thing. And these are the guarantees that we're offering right now. I'm not going to go too much in detail really with the type of content that's here. There's a bunch of content. This is just automated acquisition. It's really detailed. Really detailed, and because of that, I've got a longer 25-minute demo video that goes over the entire process. So if you want to check that out, go to my website www.reecemoss.com. I'll leave it below as a comment if you're watching back this video later, and you can go ahead, watch that video, hear a little bit more about the guarantees, hear a little bit more about how we get the results in the first place. We'll go through some of the content here. I'll show you what that looks like. Since I made that video, you know, the Facebook community's launched, the weekly calls have launched, so those are brand new. You know, this program is constantly evolving, which is really exciting, and I really just wanted to share that with you quickly on this live today. So again, if you're watching later, if you're interested in learning a bit more, go to my website www.reecemoss.com. I'll leave the link below in what's it called, like a saved comment or whatever. And if you're a little bit stuck, if you've got some questions, you want some help, or if you want to know a little bit more about the program without, you know, booking a call, just send me a message on Facebook. We can have a chat like two humans, because that's what we are. I'm a business owner, you're a business owner. I'm an agency owner, you're an agency owner. So I've been in your space. I've looked at working with mentors before. I've worked with a mentor. My first mentor helped me get my first couple clients and scale, and that's why I'm here today. So if you want help, go ahead, click that link down below, shoot me a message. I'd love to have a chat with you and see if I can help you out. If you found this video valuable, if you've got any questions about this video, leave it down below in the comment section or send me a DM. I'll be happy to help you out as much as possible. So I'm going to conclude this here. We had like 30 minutes. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your week. Go crush it, and I'll speak to you all soon. Take care, and bye-bye.